Sipe. What a year he'd had. 30 touchdowns, only 14 interceptions. Third down 3. At the 38-yard line. AFC on the move, and this one will be picked off. Taken by Randy Logan of the Philadelphia Eagles, and the first turnover of the game. Logan batted it up in the air, came down with it, and the NFC will have their possession at the 42-yard line, their own 42. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. Reading it from his safety spot. Firing over the middle was Brian Sipe. Had the man open just for a second. The intended receiver, Kellen Winslow, and Randy Logan comes down with it. Their wide receivers are Carmichael, the big one from Philadelphia, number 17, and James Lofton of Green Bay. Carmichael split left, and the draw play. Walter Payton is nailed before he can reach the line of scrimmage, but he struggles forward. It'll be second down.
Dang. Jack Lambert is just as aggressive in this Pro Bowl game as he is in any other game.
NFC from their own 42-yard line. Bartkowski to Carmichael. Carmichael spins back inside, down to the 22-yard line, and Bartkowski threw a rope to Carmichael, and the big man right across the middle takes it.
What's interesting here is that quickly Logan and Carmichael of the Eagles, as we look at this again, watch Carmichael cutting across the middle. Both of them with the Eagles making good early game plays, and they were virtually out of action in the recent Super Bowl. So successfully were they stifled.
NFC in possession, and off to Otis Anderson, and Anderson breaks the tackle. A quick pitch, Walter Payton dances and almost springs loose, and does, and steps out of bounds at the 12-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. I believe he has it. Here comes Ed Murray, a rookie from Detroit, a 7th-round draft pick out of Tulane, who had a spectacular year. 27 of 42, kick one of 52 yards. Our holder, Nolan Cromwell of the Los Angeles Rams. You never know what he might do. And the NFC on the scoreboard first, and Fran Tarkenton.
Thank you, Gifford. We have Ron Jaworski here, quarterback of the Eagles. Ron, how do you feel now? If you reflect on the Super Bowl and it's over with, I know it hurts.
Well, there's no question. The whole team was very disappointed with the loss, but we all feel it was a great season for us, and we're going to be back.
Did y'all feel tight going into the game?
I don't believe so. We had great practices all week, good concentration by everyone. It just seemed that maybe the pressure of that game maybe got to some of the guys. I really don't know. It's just, but you got to give credit to Oakland. They played a great football game.
Okay, Giff, up to you for the play.
And he's been doing it for 12 years. Third down 19, Bartkowski. You believe it, is complete, is fired out to James Lofton, the speedy wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers, and Lofton, very heady execution, knew where he had to go to get the first down. He picked it up by 3 yards. It'll be first and 10. On first and 10, Walter Payton cuts back, drops the football, and is quickly fallen on there by an NFC performer.
He's an old hand at that. One night against San Diego, a Sunday game we did, as we look at Waller cutting back there in the Walter Payton way. You remember the Art Donovan and Jay Saul?
Bartkowski, play action. Firing deep, intended for Lofton, and there's a foot race between Lofton and Greg Stemrick. Bartkowski hands off to Anderson, and look at Otis Anderson inside the 40-yard line. They'll mark it at the 40, but a quick pickup of 20, and no one does it quite as quickly as Otis Anderson does. He had himself some year, over 1,300 yards.
And when Otis Anderson hit the NFL, he made a big splash by breaking Earl Campbell's one-year-old rookie rushing yardage record by 155 yards. He was the NFL Rookie of the Year and had 6 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He ended his splendid career in 1992 with a then whopping 10,273 rushing yards and 81 touchdowns to go along with 3,062 receiving yards. A 2-time Super Bowl champion, he was also a Super Bowl MVP. It's ridiculous that he's not in the Hall of Fame.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line. Bartkowski play action again. Fires out and is fired into the arms of Alfred Jenkins, number 84, the great wide receiver from Atlanta at 5'9" and 155. It was a procedure call. The down remains the same, first and 15. And firing complete over the middle is Alfred Jenkins once again, and he took a hammering. He only weighs 155 or 60 pounds, and he was really leveled by Barbaro of Kansas City, who goes 6'4", 205 pounds. And let's look again. Again, good protection. But this is fun and games most of the week. But look at this hit on Jenkins by Barbaro. And I'll tell you, as a wide receiver, former wide receiver, I can tell you what he is really going to be hammered. On 1st and 10. Wide open in the end zone is Junior Miller, and Bartkowski overthrows.
Yes, you recognize this man. This is George Blanda, who played till he was 48 years old. Nobody's ever done that in the National Football League. He'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame in August. What do you think about that, George?
Oh, I think it's a great thing, not only for me personally, but all the people I play with, teams I've been associated with, my family, and it's a humbling experience, but I'm looking forward to it.
How many years did your career span in professional football?
Well, I've 26 years. I started in 49, quit in 75, was fired in 75.
George, let's take it back up to Giff. Giff, we'll look at this play and come back to George. George, now you were a kicker, and that helped you stay around till you were 48 years old. What was your last play that you had in the National Football League?
Well, actually, my last play was in the championship game against the Steelers. I kicked a 43-yard field goal in the last 8 seconds, but my last play in a regular season was a touchdown pass against the Dallas Cowboys. We beat them 27-24.
Bounce quickly, under pressure from Randy White. Fires intended for Joyner. Joyner again covered by Rod Perry, but Fouts takes a bit of a bumping.
So far, he has not been throwing so comfortably to his own receivers.
And Hampton was also there. 4th down, and Ray Guy pressed into action once again. Dropping deep is Mike Nelms. There he is with a 10-1 average, 5th in the NFC, but a dangerous return man. Year before this past season, he led the Canadian Football League in returns, did Mike Nelms. Bobby Beathard dug him out of the Canadian League, and he returned his punch this past year for the Redskins. Nelms takes it on the first hop at the 15. And he'll be stretched out.
Yeah, this Pro Bowl was like the ones before, filled with hard hitting, like the Jenkins reception, and Fouts getting leveled by Randy White after he threw the ball, and this gang tackling on a punt return.
Brad Van Pelt, I mentioned earlier, playing in his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl. And remember Howard about 10 years ago when nobody wanted to draft him because they thought he was going into baseball.
Speed baller, had an excellent offer from the St. Louis Cardinals.
Brad Van Pelt wore number 10, Fran Tarkenton's old number. How was he allowed to wear that number back then? In 1973, the NFL instituted a jersey numbering system which limited linebackers entering the league to numbers 50 through 59. He was allowed to wear number 10 because he was a backup kicker in his rookie year. He was also named the Giants' 1970s Player of the Decade and has the distinction of playing for the Giants in 4 different home stadiums: Yankee Stadium, the Yale Bowl, Shea Stadium, and Giants Stadium.
3rd down and 2. They give it to Walter Payton. Look out. And Payton easily through his hands. Bartkowski looks over a 3rd down and 10. Has the time, no receiver, dumps it off to William Andrews. And Andrews does his personal thing to the 45-yard line. There's so much pride involved, Howard. These guys, they get to know each other. And we'll watch as Bartkowski puts it up again. He has a man open. It's all the way down to Lofton, and he laid
Situation before. Now watch, with the ball hanging in the air, watch Timmy Fox not there in time, but the remarkable defensive back, the defensive back of the year, Lester Hayes.
From their own 17. Big draw by Fouts under pressure, and he fires and drills it into Dave Casper as the 1st down. Illegal procedure, 1st down and 15, AFC from their own 35, and here comes Joe Cribbs, a rookie sensation from Auburn, who had his 1,000-yard-plus season for Buffalo, leading them to their first division punt. The leading punter in the NFL and the leading return man. To look at Jennings, he just bombed this. JT bobbles it, and it comes back out on the playing surface. And the NFC is recovered inside the 1-yard. So at the NFC with a 3-point lead. Flag is down as Walter Payton does a 2.5 gainer into the end zone. Walter Payton slices back against the grain. 2nd down, goal to go. The 2 tight ends are in, Giles and Miller. All bobbled and is kicked around. The AFC is saying touchback. Barbaro for the AFC, and Sipe will put it up on top. Going for Cribbs, and Cribbs is there, and he breaks the tackle. Cribbs gets the first down. Sipe immediately on first down, goes again. This time John Jefferson. Sipe. Morgan, touchdown. Stanley Morgan, the New England Patriots, scores for the AFC. They take the lead.
This was the Brian Sipe who was the quarterback of the year. Look at it. This view.
Just such a deft touch, Howard. I mean, he doesn't drill it. From the end zone, again, that middle linebacker dropping weak. Jaworski under a little bit of pressure from Gary Johnson. Overthrows. Barbaro, playing the outfield, so to speak, as those free safeties do, is right there.
Let me tell you this about that Kansas City team, which started to come this past season. They have exceptional defense.
Brian Sipe at the quick count. Brian Sipe nailed from behind, drops the football. The NFC's Randy White is there. Randy White. Sipe, short drop and fires incomplete. A receiver was knocked off. The ball is taken by Joe Lavender, and Lavender has some room. Gets by Casper. Dances inside the 20.
There's Joe Lavender. There are the spectacles. And there's one happy fella.
Just bowling ahead is Earl Campbell in. He just doesn't have his problems. On first and 10. Look at this. Otis Anderson. And William Andrews is just powdered by Julius Adams of the New England Patriots. On first down and 10. Bartkowski, wide open, he has a receiver, it's Rashad. And again, great recovery by Lester Hayes. And he has the football. That's his 19th interception. He's playing games. And Sipe, Charlie Joyner. Sipe, and deep trouble. And he is hammered by Leroy Selman of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It certainly did not work. Second down and 8, and wide open is Jenkins. Alfred Jenkins, and this time Bartkowski did not hang it.
Now this is how a Pro Bowl game should be played. All-out effort with hard-hitting action. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons, and check out my other cool videos in my playlist. Thanks for watching.